What's going on, people? So, yeah, this rain is really starting to come down. I was out there doing my little outlet vlog thing. I talked about that 2 videos ago, and it was super clear. But they said, like, yeah, it's probably going to get super terrible later. Yeah, it's right now it's just bad, but I can see the terrible coming real soon. So, luckily, I'm all done with my outside stuff for the day, and now I'm kind of doing the whole indoor living thing because it's not looking great out there, people. I don't know if you can hear that or not, but if you do hear some extra noise, that's what it is. I think the gain stuff is set just enough to like not pick up too much extra nonsense. Either way, real quick before I go talking about all this, right? I've said it before, mostly in like lives and maybe in the comments of certain things or whatever. When it comes to like the off-white shoes that have released over the last, I don't know what, 5 years or however long that thing was going on, right? Predominantly, they are not good. I look at most of them and think these are just trash, right? Just complete garbage. That's my opinion, right? And I say that specifically that way because I'm not saying all of them. It's just that most of them were. I saw like two that I was okay with. And I think one was a tan pair of 90s. The other one was like a silver pair of 97s. And there might have been others out there that were okay. I think like maybe like I want to say I didn't dislike the Vapor Max a Vapor Max that they did. I'm honestly not quite sure. I'd have to look at a picture of it again. But yeah, mostly just not for me, right? And I've said that and I stand by that. But I mean it's the same thing in the music world, right? Like sometimes like there's a band that is just god awful, right? But if they make 50 songs, like don't be surprised when one of them is actually pretty decent, right? You know, like Reggie and the Full Effect. They are that kind of way, right? But either way, so when I saw these coming around, I was like, oh, off-white, huh? But I'm a big fan of like the He-Man, right? And the Ninja Turtles as well. So I was kind of like I might just get it for that reason because that is something different, right? A unique piece in my little inventory of He-Man figures, so that's cool. But I'll judge it when I get it in hand. And I'm going to tell you right off the top right now, spoiler alert or whatever. Yeah, all that stuff I said before kind of holds true. Like, I do still like this stuff because it's He-Man related. But I don't know about it. It's now if it's going for resale, I say skip it. But whatever, let's go talk about it. First up, right? I have 3 of these little cards here. Supposedly, like, there should have been 4. I don't know if the 4th one is, like, in the box or something, but it certainly wasn't there when I did the unboxing over on the old Instagram. But these are basically like the little authentication cards, certificate of authenticity, right? So I have the one for Battlecat, the one for He-Man, and the one for Skeletor. I just don't know if the one for Skelegod is in the box or not. That'll be something to figure out later. But I'm wondering if anyone else out there bought these. Like, did you have that same situation? But let's just go ahead and jump on into it. We'll lead with this one since it's on top. This is He-Man, right? So they label this as woman, which is part of the reason why I'm like, what? Why? You know? So it's definitely He-Man. The little card thing says He-Man. The whole thing of it is He-Man. I just don't know what was going on with that. Did I do any research before buying these? No, I did not. So I also didn't do any like later on. So everything that I'm saying is just right off the top, right? Because just going into my normal casual consumer mode of, hell, that seems interesting. Let's throw it in the cart. Let's see what happens. Either way, so you have this whole monochrome thing, right, where it's just like all this weird chocolatey sort of color, right, for whatever reason. So that's how this one is. And then on the back side there's some little pamphlet in there. I'm not sure what any of that stuff is. I haven't really opened these. I might do that at some point, but for right now, like the one thing about these that I do like is that as they are, they're ready to be displayed, you know, so you can just stand it out like this or whatever, which is a thing I've done in the past. Even Cody Rhodes and Dustin are like that right now. But for this one, let's just move on. This right here is the Skelegod, right, like I was talking about moments ago. So it does have some stuff in the back there, kind of like how He-Man did. But is one of those cards in there? I don't know. And this one is labeled as she, as you can see in the top, right? So I don't know what was with the whole woman thing, but that's what they were doing. But past that, this is just going to be like the Skelegod look. If you saw, I think it was Revelations, the He-Man cartoon on Netflix that came out I want to say 2021. So I think it was, yeah, I'm thinking it was 2021. He was in there, right? Which is actually a really good series. It kind of got a little bit of flack for the first couple, from at least the first reviews that I saw, because people were like, oh, why is it not as focused on He-Man? But they were kind of building up a story, so I get it, but I also get why people don't like it. You know what I'm saying? So I can see both sides of it. Moving along, the next one over here, this is going to be her, according to the text at the top, but it's just going to be your standard Skeletor. And this one is going to be in some kind of like a tannish, beigeish color. I don't know what color you want to really call that, but I'd say it might be my favorite color of all of them, because it's easy to see the detailing on this one, right? And the detailing on these is really nice. But I will say, going back to the whole Netflix thing, if you do like these figures, but you would rather them be like the normal packaging, normal color, check your Targets or check online. I don't remember what the distribution was like as far as what waves had what figures, but these were hanging out in a lot of Targets from what I saw, also Walmart's. So check there, and then if you don't see them, just go online, but you'll probably still end up paying, hopefully right around retail. If anything, they might have a little extra markup just because of shipping and, you know, how you have to package stuff like that. But either way, this one is probably my favorite of the figures just because of the coloring alone, right? Overall design, I don't know, it might be the Skelegod, because that's a cool looking figure. And then you have this, right? Moving along to the last piece, and this one is called War, right? And that's going to be Battlecat. So one thing that I am not a fan of is that this box is kind of damaged down here at the bottom, which, I mean, it sucks, you know, but it's one of those things that happens. Even the box itself is damaged, like the outer cardboard, when I received it in the mail. But then I didn't open these for a while, and it was a pre-order situation, so by the time like they were all sent out, it's not like you could go back and get a refund or exchange or whatever anyway. Maybe a refund, but definitely not an exchange. So it is what it is. But if I take it out of the box, none of this even matters, right? It's just when you get something, you want it to be in the condition you want it to be in, which is pristine, right? Because you spent however much money Mattel Creations wanted. I don't know, but it was not cheap, I don't think. I'm very sure it wasn't. Either way, looking at this guy here, he's looking pretty nice, right? He is. It's not something about like the way they do the fur here, because it's not actual fur and like it's just kind of like carved in there to give it that look or whatever. That kind of gives it like a cheap image to me, but I get why they do that. Though when I was younger, they did have some that, like Panther, who had like kind of a flock sort of thing going on. So I can see why they wouldn't do that with this. I get it. I'm just saying, taking this as a standard figure, that's kind of how I feel about it. But yeah, otherwise though, I get why they did this, and for that reason, I'm going to leave that part alone and just say that, yeah, this is actually pretty decent, right? It's got some good detailing, it seems like, in the face and everything. So no real complaints out of me. But there's that for you. So like I was saying, all in all, I'm still not going to say like I'm some like off-white guy. This didn't like sway me into thinking, oh man, maybe I should have gone for more of their things or whatever, because I still feel fine having not done that. But the thing is, what I'm going to just kind of drive home is like, you don't have to like everything, right? Some stuff just kind of sucks to some people. And off-white, for the most part, it sucked to me, right? So this right here, not my favorite figures, but I like it because it's unique, right? I like that aspect of it, so it's going to be like a nice little piece of the collection. I'm like, oh yeah, I have these He-Man things and these, right? So that's kind of where this comes in for me. That's the collector side of me, I guess you could say. But that's enough for me to you. Have a nice rest of your day or rest of your night, whatever it is, wherever you are. I'm done recording for today, so that's pretty alright. And it really is. Later, people.